Hey, boys and girls, welcome back to Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope. In the last episode, we began the final mission of our adventures throughout the galaxy, making our way head first towards the cosmic stronghold of Cursa, the evil galactic empress. Once stepping foot on the desolate outer reaches of her lair, we were quickly confronted with visions of the past, corrupted versions of our friends, one being Bowser, due to his involvement in the demise of the Mechabug, and, well, being merged with the Mechabug as the final boss of Kingdom Battle, and the second being Edge herself, due to her involvement being created by Cursa to be the leader of the Spark Hunters, but because of a critical flaw in Edge's creation, being that Edge to lead, being placed into her personality, she quickly turned to the side of good, seeing Cursa for what it truly is, a void of pure and utter evil. But the thing is, with the final battle more than likely being only moments away, what tricks does Cursa have in store for us once our band of misfits finally make that final jump? Because I'm pretty sure, based on gold being a very specific indicator in Kingdom Battle as well as DK's Adventure, usually signifying the final boss of the game, honestly, I'm pretty sure we're right on the doorstep of Cursa right now. And the thing is, what's truly our plan for rescuing Rosalina from her iron vice-like grip? Because, let's be honest here, we really have no idea, and there's only one really way to find out, and that is by confronting Cursa and putting an end to her reign of terror once and for all. So, with that being said, honestly, it's about time we finally face off with Cursa, because I'm pretty sure we're definitely going to be seeing her in just a few seconds. So, honestly, Cursa this Destroyer, defeat Cursa once and for all. Let's get on into it. So, jump on into the golden pipe and prepare for whatever we can get now, because let's be honest here, I'm pretty sure we're definitely in for a pretty big boss fight, honestly, based on the Mechabug Bowser fight from the previous game and Donkey Kong, Rabbid Kong in DK's Adventure. So, let's be honest here, we're definitely in for a fight. But, let's see what's going on. We've ridden a dark mist manta, a spaceship, a steam train, and now finally Cannon takes us to our final destination, Cursa. Yep, our final destination indeed. Is everyone ready for takeoff? I saw that merchant bot here somewhere. Boy, talk about market presence. Talk about market presence indeed. He literally needs to make every coin he needs. Let's be honest there. But I think we're definitely ready. So, let's set off BeepO and finally see Cursa for the very first time in a real fight. Because, let's be honest here, we have no idea what we're getting ourselves into. But, only one way to find out. And that is to make that final jump and see what's truly going on.
Huh?
Here we go. Defeat Cursa's astral arms. And honestly, yep, we're definitely facing off there. So, yep, gold definitely stood true in the end. I thought that was definitely a very good indicator, so good to know. But here we go. Astral Cursa. And also, I noticed that all of our characters were on the map. That's interesting. So we're actually going to be able to use everybody. That's going to be cool. I'll definitely take it, because, you know, being able to use everybody would definitely be pretty nice, honestly, but how's this gonna work? That's definitely interesting, but honestly, I guess we'll find out.
The wellspring of all dark past, Cursa.
Though divided amongst 3 battlefields, our only chances to work together.
Cursa itself is too far to reach, but its astral arm is not. Focus on that, as well as not getting hit, of course.
Of course.
Cursa's likely plan of attack with the arm will be to target a hero with it shortly before thrusting it downward at them. We use this to our advantage. See those trampolines? If a hero leaps onto one, a jagged spike will rise from the floor.
Ooh, jagged spike, you say? Okay, cool, good to know.
Take care that the hero attempting to leap onto the trampoline is nowhere near the arm. Otherwise, you'll throttle them.
Okay, then. Interesting. So spikes will raise out of the ground if we jump. Although we don't want the hero with the arm on them to be the one to jump off of it. So, more than likely, drag the hero close to the jump panel, and then jump with another hero, is what I'm understanding. But, let's see what our team is ready for, because let's be honest here. Honestly, I should probably talk about the Sparks here, because obviously I already had Sparks with characters. I used it mostly just to test them out a long time ago. I was doing this since the very beginning of the game, just throwing on Sparks that we didn't have, on other characters. And you guys saw it over the course of the adventure too, to be fair. But if you really were paying attention to it. But whenever I went to the Spark menu. But honestly, this is going to be interesting because I think these Sparks are going to be good for some of these characters. I'm not 100%, but I have been doing small tests for things and just kind of looking at characters in between, fighting off with randoms, walking around enemies back in the previous worlds and stuff like that. So I have a good idea of what we're going to do here with some of these, but some of them I haven't really fully tested them to their full capabilities yet, but honestly, I feel pretty good with our team, honestly. So, honestly, I think we're good. So, honestly, who are we starting with? Because it looks like we're starting with Mario, Princess Peach, and Rabbid Rosalina. Are these teams sets? Because I'm not really sure about that one. Because I would like to know about where... Okay, Bowser and Edge are together. Okay, cool. That's all I need to know. Actually, Bowser, Edge, and Rabbid Peach. That's a very nice combo. But let's look at these Astral Arms, though, since these are technically, obviously, new enemies, but also it will give us an idea of, about Cursa, too. So let's see here. Cursa's Astral Arm. A projection created by Cursa. Though it may appear to have no physical form, its attacks are quite devastating. Yeah, 1,600 damage is definitely devastating, but chooses a target, it follows it everywhere. On the next turn, the target is grabbed and then thrown. But 1,600 damage sounds pretty bad. Astral Slam, though, here we go, another damage attack. So 2,320, but this time it has a chance of critting. For a 20% chance of 316. Chooses a target and follows it. On next turn, the target is hit, creating a shockwave that inflicts area damage. And then also an ability, Astral Sight, reacts to any team jump performed within its range. Okay, good to know. Very good to know. But now we know kind of what we're dealing with here, but I think we're quite ready. So let's get on into there. So let's see how this, okay, pointy... So you're definitely pointing at me, so I need to be very careful. And also, that is a little bit louder in my ears than I need that to be. Because I'll lose my train of thought if I have that going like that all the time. So, good thing I turned my headset down. But let's see here. It looks like we can only work with this team at the current moment. So, we need to figure out how we want to deal with these enemies. Because every enemy is going to be affected here over the course of our adventure. We could put these guys to sleep. That seems like a good first turn. So Ennui is definitely something we should go right away. So Rabbid Rosalina, you do what you do best, put things to sleep. And that's perfect. Okay. Since we have the idea here, well, Team Barrier doesn't need to be happening. I could jump off of Mario, because that'll give him a barrier, which actually might help him a little bit. You know what? That actually might be what we should do. But, technically I am going to jump off with Peach there, but maybe it doesn't really affect us a little bit. It kinda did. Okay, well that didn't really work in my favor. I'm going to say probably Team Barrier this time. Probably should have just started with the Team Barrier. Because the thing is, well, to be honest, Mario probably would have been able to just use that to begin with and kind of worked with that in general. But let's do this time, because now we have the ability of completely negating the damage that it does. But there we go. Now we have the spike on the floor. So now if it pokes Mario, Mario is perfectly ready for it. Okay, cool. So now we're kind of ready for things. But still not 100% on what we're going to do. But the other enemies are asleep, so we could go straight for damage, which is probably a good idea. So, you know what? Definitely Kaboomer damage. 100% crit is always nice to see. You definitely gotta love it. But other than that, technically what we could do is definitely go for some damage here. But it doesn't really look like I can really get too much here. Definitely seems like a decent amount, but... Actually, wait a minute, I can get a knockout on that guy. Interesting, let me do that instead, actually. If I can get a knockout as well as a hit into Cursa, I would definitely like to do that, if possible. Only thing is how did we get that? Was it, like, right here? I'm not really sure, because... Okay, then it said I was getting a knockout from an angle, but I'm not really sure which angle that was. Huh. That's interesting. Well, technically I could go for that, but that'll wake up the other guys, and I do not want them waking up, to be fair. But I'm gonna say we definitely try and do some damage to Cursa here for sure. Just because that little bit of extra damage will definitely come in handy later. Also, breaking a little bit of cover also comes in handy. But honestly, from here, we can either go for some Sky Rain, 680 damage, or we can go for Hero Sights. Because I don't know if these arms are going to move within Vision Sight, and if we can, you know, do anything like that, but it'll be worth a shot, just to see what we can do. But there's a decent amount of damage on that Astral Arm already, and we'll set up Hero Sight just to see what we can possibly do with that, because I'm pretty sure it'll, you know, come in handy, I'm pretty sure. Doesn't seem like it wouldn't. But, honestly, let's see how this works. Since now we have the spike going on, it did hurt itself on it, and it completely canceled its attack on us, too. And it is trying to run away. So, Hero Sight, do what you do best, buddy. Because, that's some definite damage we could definitely do right away. But not bad. Okay, first, area finish, though. How much damage did we do to that arm? Because I don't know if it's going to heal, but... Oh, it's already in red. That's pretty good. Okay, cool. So, only, well, 3,730, but pretty much 4,000 HP. So, not bad. Not bad at all, honestly. We do have the idea of maybe being able to disrupt her here. That's always an option. We also have the ability of weakening enemies, which will increase the damage we do to them. So we could also do that, and then increase the damage we do to everything there. Or... we could figure out what we want to do here. I'm going to say, personally, due to the fact that Rabbid Mario likes to be able to do damage to other things, Reflective doesn't sound too bad here. Because we can jump off the jump panel there and instantly set up things for later. So, let's move good old Rabbid, Luigi, and everybody else away from the jump panel, because it's instantly going to go for Rabbid Mario here in a second. We could actually technically also set up the counter blow as well. You know what, that's probably a good idea. You know what, counter blow set up as well, because I think it will instantly set off counter blow as well. So, it's worth a shot, definitely is. Let's get into its range, so we definitely get that damage in. Now, let's see how much damage we do with that, because it should be pretty good. It didn't set it off. Interesting. Well, I'm kind of surprised about that one. Well, we do have Reflect still active, so having Rabbid Mario in the open is not a bad idea for later. But, first things first, probably setting ourselves a little bit further back would be a good idea. Only thing is we need to probably pull... Yep, we could definitely pull a fire. Okay, that's cool. That's definitely good for me, because that gives me a free super hit for the Astral Arm right away. So that's not bad at all. Although, maybe what I can do... I wonder, if it's moving on top of Rabbid Luigi, Does it give me sharpshooter bonus for everything to do with hero sight and steely sight? It does. Oh, okay then. Now that's interesting. That's good that we tried that, because that's 3 free hits with Luigi right away that we get to take full advantage of. And that's a bunch of damage right away too. Not bad. Okay, definitely really good. I'll definitely take that. Okay, so we could go for poison, or we can send in a Wild Claw. I kind of like the idea of sending in a Wild Claw, honestly. So let's summon the Wild Claw and see what he can help us with here. Because I feel like he could probably help out quite a lot. Because it'll kind of get the enemies, well, didn't really want to get hit by the Wild Claw, to be fair. But it could have been worse. Could have been definitely worse. But now that we're here, we can start figuring out how to deal with these guys. Although my damage I just took is not really the greatest. But actually, we still have Luigi's hit, so maybe we should go with that first. So let's set up Luigi first before we worry about that one. So here we go, good old sharpshooter for a good chunk of damage if we can get it. 2,500 is always nice to see. That's very nice. And honestly, do we have to be directly behind this? Because it goes away immediately, and I'm a little worried about that one. But, the Wild Claw is kind of going to come chasing me in a second, too. Honestly, I'm very iffy on this, to be fair. But, I guess we could go for a heal instead, because of the fact that we did take that Wild Claw damage randomly. So, you know what, we'll do it. Just because I am a little worried about my current movement here. But maybe what we'll do instead is we could bring Rabbid Mario. Well, I was kind of wanting to throw Rabbid Mario a little bit closer, to be fair, but forgot we can't team jump whatsoever, which is just unfortunate. We did still do damage, though, so it's still something, but it's just unfortunate that we don't really get to use what we want to. But we don't have the ability to do our dashes, so we can't go for that. So I guess we just end turn and see what happens. Because the Wild Claws are coming. It's not really pointing at us yet. Thankfully, the enemies attack first. So, well, Scoper just got a free punch to the face. But thankfully the enemies do attack first, because we didn't see that because we put everything to sleep in the previous turn. So now we know that enemies attack and then Cursa goes for her hits. So not bad. Interesting. Well, that Astral Arm seems to be standing still, but the other one's already at 3,000, so all we need to do is just figure out how to deal with that arm before, before they go for attacks and things like that. So, we could go Squashette, but Squashette really doesn't help us personally. So I'm going to say we send in the Squashette on that side, because we don't know what the enemies on the opposite side of us are going to do in a second. So being ready for them is probably a good idea. Also, it looks like we can get a free dash into this guy too. Yep, we can definitely do it. Perfect. So Bowser, you do what you do best first, buddy. Make sure everybody's turbocharged, because honestly, you have a little bit more freedom to do turbocharge than most other characters. Just because the cooldown on the Mecha Rabbid Koopas can usually take up, well, not really much of his turn up, so it gives him a little bit more to do, to be fair. And that's why I've always thought Bowser holding that turbocharge and Rabbid Peach were like the characters that I would throw that onto, to be fair. So if you guys were ever wondering, that's why. But now that we got that done, well, we don't have a way of raising a spike here, actually. I just realized that one. Huh. Because that thing is closed. So we're getting hit for free here if we don't do this right. So we need to be careful, for sure. So first things first is definitely prepping. How do you turn that on, though? Oh, nope, there's one back there, actually. I see it. Okay, so what it wants us to do is get closer over here. Okay, got it. So now we know what to do. Okay, perfect. Now we know what we're doing now. So now we have a preparation of everything. Now we just need to figure out how to deal with Cursa. We can go for a blast normally, or we can start doing damage normally. I do have an idea, but Hero Like, if I were to do, the normal thing of, like, Stormblading, probably wouldn't be a good idea. But I think we might be able to get rid of Cursa's arm here without bringing that up, actually. Which would definitely help us here. You know what, I might actually go for that. I'm gonna see what happens when we actually drop one of these arms. Since I'm quite curious what happens. So, if we don't jump, it is gone, so it's completely gone now. So now we just need to deal with the final part of our mission here. Obviously, we're gonna blow that guy sky high, get him off the field. And now we just end turn and see what the other arm does. Since these enemies are quite far away, they're all mostly melee, because the squashers are obviously melee, and then Stooge is pretty simple to deal with. But down goes the arm over there, and now it's coming back to Mario and the rest of the gang over here. Those enemies are still asleep, so Mario, just go for a nice little blast for a couple times, because, let's be honest here, another arm done, and down goes her arms. Okay, phase 1 done, and now it looks like she's definitely gotten a little bit closer to us this time, and we kind of made her a little bit mad, but that's a good ththing. Let's be honest here. The more mad we make Cursa, the better for us. But here we go.
The power it generates is nearly incalculable. It must be powered by the sparks that Cursa captured and exploited. Those sparks can still be saved. Set them free by hitting the star. Without the power, Cursa will weaken.
Hopefully. But that would make a lot of sense based on, you know, everything to do with everything before. But we're definitely going to go for a free heal, so there's no reason not to. So let's definitely make sure we heal up before every fight. But honestly, I'm curious at, based on there being a phase 2 to the fight, I'm pretty sure we're dealing with 3 phases here. So we're more than likely not done yet. So let's be honest here. Let's be prepared for a phase 3 then. Or even a phase 4, we honestly don't know how many. But we're definitely in phase 2 of the fight though. Only thing is what are we really dealing with here? Because 19,300 HP is quite a lot. But let's definitely take a look at Cursa here before we do anything else. If I can get a good angle of her, that is. We'll find it eventually. There we go. Cursa. Cursa can move between platforms and attack one opponent in front of her. 2,180 damage. Okay then. 2,834 if we get crit by a 20% chance. A long-range beam fired at one target reduces the target's weapon damage after a successful hit. It doesn't say AoE, so it looks like it can miss. Although it looks like she can't attack very... Oh no, she can't attack very far. Never mind. She can attack all the way back there. Okay. Well, that confirms that one, but, okay. So, basically, make sure we're behind cover when she does attack. Okay, that's not too hard. And also, if she's gonna move between targets, Hero Sight definitely sounds like an option. But it doesn't look like we have to worry about being in the air anymore, based on the astral arms being gone now. So, first things first is figuring out where Rabbid Rosalina wants to go. Because Rabbid Rosalina is definitely going to want to go in and make sure to get as much sleep status in as quick as possible, while also being able to deal with these enemies at the same time. So hopefully we can get a good range of sleep, which we can. Perfect. That's exactly what we need. So Envy, perfect for this perfect chance, honestly. That gets those enemies sleeping, and now we have a free range of emotion on attacking Cursa now, which is perfect. So now all we gotta do is figure out what we want to do, because we have options. We definitely have options. But first things first, so we can maybe set up, if we jump off of Mario, we can actually give him a barrier. So, trying to think of how we want to do this, because the thing is we can move Peach first. Probably not very far, but it's probably better than nothing, to be fair. But, I want to be able to do as much damage as possible with Peach, because the thing is the further she is away from an enemy, the less damage that she's going to be able to do. But the thing is I also want to use my stomps for at least, a little bit of damage. I think what we can do is make Mario come over here, and then obviously stomp on this enemy to the point where it's basically down for the counts, and then make our way slightly in range. It's not a lot, but it's something. And honestly, from here, dash into you. The squashette's something I definitely don't want to keep around, but it's definitely better than nothing. But still didn't give me enough for what I wanted to do, though. So I think what we'll do is we'll end up taking the extra range of movement for Peach to make it so she can get closer to Cursa. And that also gets rid of that enemy as well. So not bad. That's definitely better than nothing, for sure. Now we just need to prepare for dealing with Cursa here, obviously. So dealing a little bit of damage to you would be a start. So here's a nice little couple blasts for you, Cursa, to start us off. And now we just need to figure out what we want to do here. Because we have options, but let's be honest here, we need to be very sure about our options before we do go for anything. But there's a team barrier for you. We'll probably move like here for Peach to make sure Peach does the most amount of damage she's going to do. Because 1,162 damage is not bad at all. Although, can I get better than that? I'm curious. Because I wonder if the more range of... No, it doesn't change. Okay. I just want to make sure if we do more damage or not. So that confirms that for me. But here's a nice little bit of damage for you, Cursa. We'll set that up for you. And now, honestly, now we just need to figure out what we need to do for the rest of this. I think being behind here would be a good idea. Just because we get a good range of just damage in general. Obviously, all the crits are going to come in handy too. Gotta love the ability of being able to crit with every single blast. Definitely gotta say that. And now, honestly, it looks like we are in range of hero sights if we go for it. So I think we set up hero sight and see what we can do. Because I think as soon as Cursa moves to the next platform, it'll trigger Mario's hero sight, is basically my idea. Not 100% on it, but, well, we still got hit with a beam there, and we actually got critted too. And it does not trigger the hero sights. Now that's unfortunate, but at least we now know. So, hero sights only for the enemies currently on field. So, Luigi doesn't need to use his. Technically he can for the other enemies. Looks like we're dealing with Fire Stooges again. We haven't seen those enemies in a while. But, first things first is figuring out how we're going to deal with these enemies. It looks like we're dealing with the same platform as the previous area, though, based on there still being a Wild Claw-like enemy. But for the most part, this doesn't look too hard. Although, that's easier said than done until we deal with the enemy for sure. I'm going to say what we can definitely do, though, is we could send in the Wild Claw first, and then figure out from there what we want to do. So, Rabbid Luigi's probably going to need to jump off of regular Luigi here to help out, just for the little bit of extra movement we can get. And I can also get an exhaustive dash into on this enemy before he actually, gets attacked by the Wild Claw. So it is definitely, worth what we can do and see what we can do from there. But definitely send in some extra reinforcements if we can, because it might end up helping us in the end. I just hope we don't get frostbitten here, because we're definitely going to get frostbitten if we're not careful. But some of these enemies are behind cover, which don't make it easy at all to hit them. But from here, honestly, it looks like definitely sending in Rabbid Mario over there is going to be a good idea. But let's make sure we get the massive amount of movement we can possibly get. It's not a lot, but it's something. It's definitely something. It's better than nothing. But, yeah, definitely trying to get as much movement as we can so we can escape the Deep Freeze's range of motion would definitely help us, although it does not look like we can, which is kind of unfortunate, but it's better than nothing. But let's see here. We have options. We definitely have options. I could push all the enemies away with Kong Cameo, though, which does not sound bad, honestly. So I think we might go for that. And also what we can do with Luigi here is actually take full advantage of it. Because the thing is, a Steely Stare is going to see through all targets. So if anything does end up wanting to survive, well, we got a freebie. So it's probably going to end up being good for us in the end. So definitely set up the Kong cameo and let's see what we can do here. Rabbid Kong, definitely help us out, buddy, because we're definitely going to more than likely need it. And yep, Luigi's going for the blasts. We also got a spark cooldown too, which is also good. So we get to use Kong cameo again if we want to. And also Frostbite for the little, the fire stooge over there. That's pretty nice. Not bad at all. Definitely not bad. Okay, now we have an idea here. So we can go for Cursa for a lot of damage. 100% chance to crit. Really? We're on a higher plane than she is? That's interesting. Because that's the only reason why we would have 100% crit. That's very interesting, actually. Okay, we'll definitely take it. Although I need to be a little closer, though, for it to happen. So can't really use my allies to get closer, though. So that's a little unfortunate. But that does not mean that we're in a bad situation, though. But I do say we definitely send in Rabbid Mario a little bit closer to the floor as much as we can. Do we put Luigi in danger? We could. It's not a good idea, but could be, you know, worse, I guess. Just make sure we're, like, a little bit further. I want to make sure that we're hitting Cursa, though. Why can we hit her from certain angles, but not the others? That's weird. I guess that's not too bad. I guess it's trying to go for the head. I think that's where the circle ends, I think. But 3,000 damage is not bad. Luigi's in complete and utter open range, though. Definitely not a good, ideal, like, position to be in. But it could be worse. It definitely could be worse. We can go for a free hit on that, but I don't really think moving into a position like that is a smart idea. But it looks like that's basically the most we're going to get there. We could go for Weaken, which might help out Luigi a little bit. So, probably a good idea. Setting up the Weaken for later, and then preparing for anything that could happen in the future. Because honestly, at the current moment, it's kind of more like, what are we prepared for? I think we can set up Reflects, because Rabbid Mario has a lot of HP, so we can take some freebies. Also, ooh, that's a nice one. I'll take a free counter blow. That's definitely going to happen. So, definitely take that, for sure. No reason not to. Because the thing is now we're reflecting and now we're counter blowing. So if Cursa decides to go for Rabbid Mario, that's the perfect case scenario. And if any other enemy wants to go for Rabbid Mario, let's be honest here, they're going to be blasted into next century. So here you go, buddy. Nice try. So Luigi's safe then. That's good to see. Not bad at all, honestly. I'll take that for sure. But down goes pretty much all those enemies. We've got a purple portal spawning behind us now. But sadly, our reflector did get some damage in. So not bad. At least we did a little bit of something. I wanted to go counter blow. But Cursa is making her third rotation now. So now we get to deal with Edge, Bowser, and Rabbid Peach here. So now we need to figure out what we want to do here. So we have options. We definitely have options. We can almost one-shot that squasher over there. But that's not the idea yet. Let's make sure that we turbocharge first before doing that. Gotta love how we got to use Starburst, the very first spark we got at the very beginning of the game, to fight off with Cursa, as one of our main sparks we used too. But honestly, we have options here. We definitely have options. I'm gonna say definitely Mecha Rabbid Koopas, or Mecha Koopas, are definitely a start. So let's definitely send those in first, since no reason not to. Might even get rid of our very first enemy on this side of the map, at like as fast as possible too, because this squasher is not going to have a fun time with that. He's almost down, so he almost got down just from that alone. So now we need to send in Edge, I think. So Edge, how do you want to move here? Because it's not giving us much movement. Because, let's be honest here, you were quite far back. So it looks like we need to jump from here-ish. Although, maybe I can... Actually, yeah, from that box might be better, actually. Because I might be able to get a little bit more motion from that area. Let's see, what can I get here? We can get to the squasher for sure. Okay, we can go for that. We'll see what we can do. I'll try and make use of whatever we can from this. It's better than nothing, for sure. So if I can get like at least a decent range of motion, it's gonna do us better than nothing at all. But definitely more than likely gonna see if we can maybe take some liberties here within... Did I grab a POW block? Yeah, I did. Huh? Okay, I didn't want a POW block, but I'll take it, I guess. I think I can maybe do something with that. Wanted to dash more, but can't really grab what I wanted from that. I don't know what happened there. I guess it was because I was still holding the thing, but I guess we can get rid of the squasher, I guess. That's not too bad. And then obviously we could turn invisible, probably a good idea, so I'm going to take ethereal now, just because of my positioning. Because I was going to, run around, but oh, we actually got a spark refresh. Okay, that's not too bad. I guess we can still go for some damage. So it's better than nothing. But now we need to figure out how to move Rabbid Peach and Bowser here. Because Bowser and Rabbid Peach need to figure out their movements for the most part. I think about there should be able to, yep, perfect. So as close as we can get while also giving Bowser some range of motion as well. I think like there is where Bowser can go. Yep, pretty much. So at least we could give him something. Because Bowser is quite long range, so being able to give him what he needs to be able to attack is always a thing that you need to do. But there we go, perfect. Now we're in range. So now we just need to figure out how we want to deal with enemies here. Can't go for Cursa though, from our current range. But it's better than nothing. But I'm going to say spawning in the squashette is probably a good idea now. Because that'll give us another target on the floor. Also, that pretty much ruined that enemy there too, which is pretty good. I'm going to grab this Rabbid Mecha Koopa and see what we can do with that, because I might be able to do something. I can drop that on top of the Ghostly Walker, which is not too bad. Can't go for a double hit, though, with everything that we can do, so we can't really go for that. Can't go for an enemy from this range. So Rabbid Peach really can't do much right now. We could technically increase our movement, but I don't think that's going to really affect us much. I am going to say that in this case scenario, I feel better about dealing damage to the Ghostly Walker than any other enemy on the field at the current moment. So, honestly, go for Cursa. We only got one hit on this side of the map, though, which is a little unfortunate. But it's, it is definitely better than nothing at all, for sure. But let's see what she goes for, because I'm quite curious who she's going to attack. Looks like they are going to go for my little squashette, though. Good thing we have that, because that keeps our attention from Cursa and her allies away from us. And it looks like she might end up going for the squashette, too. Yep, she did, which is perfect. So everyone stayed away from Bowser and Edge and Rabbid Peach, which is good. But now we're back to this team, and those guys are still asleep for another turn. So we have freebie to do whatever we want now. So let's definitely take full advantage here. Looks like I can do quite a lot here, though, if I want to. So we'll definitely make sure we try and do as much as we can. I'm going to say, in this case scenario, we have the him over there. How much damage do these guys need? 2,000 for you. It's probably better if we do go for the stomps on you guys. Let's make sure that we take full liberty on extra damage, because there's no reason not to. But try and do as much as we can to get rid of any extra enemies before they do get their turns. And maybe even get rid of them too. You go down if I dash you, so that's good. So let's definitely make sure you're down. So one less enemy on this side of the field. And honestly, I could go for a vamp attack. So let's definitely set up those purple Fruit Loops for later. And also, we got a spark refresh. Definitely good to see. But definitely go for our crits first, before we worry about anything else. But not bad, not bad. Okay, so far so good. We have another turn left for Peach and Mario. So now we just need to figure out what we want to do. I'm going to probably go for Frostbite attack, though. So, Cryo Bolide, I hope you like doing what you do best for the extra damage we can get. So almost 2,000 damage, and we got 1,800 of it, so not bad at all. But we could go for Sky Rain Burn, so I think we should try that first, just to do a little bit extra damage. Since, let's be honest here, Pyrogeddon is pretty good at what it does. Although it did not do any damage to Cursa, surprisingly. Thought it would, but apparently not. That's interesting. Very, very interesting that it didn't, but at least we're safe from taking damage this turn, to be fair. So no matter what, we're pretty good. But now we pass turn, I think, and then see what the last group can do. Although Mario did take quite a hit there, to be fair, but it's not bad. We did quite a lot of damage to Cursa right away. And now we're into our next area. But our Wild Claw's starting to move closer. Rabbid Mario is basically already on top. I'm not sure what that symbol means. There's a symbol on some things on our attacks here, and I'm not really sure what that exactly means. I guess it means I'm not in range for it? Oh, maybe that's what that means. Maybe I can't affect Cursa with those abilities. Maybe that's what it's trying to say. Or, actually, Rabbid Mario does just have a special thing on him. Let's see. I'm curious about that. Because it's not really exactly saying. Yeah, we just have a special effect on us. That just means that we can't do anything. It's weird. Okay. Well, honestly, I see a free knockout for Luigi, so Luigi, you do what you do best, buddy. Because that's a free sharpshooter into a crit, so honestly, do what you do best, bud. Go for that final hit, and I guess get us ready for Phase 3 if there is one. Okay, here we go. Defeat Cursa. And now we know what Cursa's true form is now. And, yeah, that's definitely not terrifying at all. That's for sure. But it does look like we are actually going to get Rosalina helping us out here, which is pretty cool. Although I'm not sure what she's going to do to help us, though. I am very curious on what that's going to do. But, well, she's on the battlefield. So, honestly, I'm kind of curious if we're going to be able to, use her for fighting. Because that would be nice. But, honestly, here we go.
We did it. She's finally free from Cursa's grasp. Once more, we have rattled Cursa. I sense her hatred towards us, the most savage and intense yet.
Okay, so here we go. But honestly, that Megabug and Star Debris combination that we could see there is quite terrifying, honestly. But yeah, Void of Hatred is definitely right when Edge said that, that's for sure. But, here we go.
I believe I am scared, BeepO. Not just for myself, for all of us.
We're scared too, Genie. It's as normal and as natural as emotions come. Try to focus on the task at hand.
Honestly, yeah. But how do we do that task is the real question. I'm seeing some stars, so I'm guessing that might be something we need to focus on, maybe.
Oh, yes, of course. Those projections there. Take note of them. I believe she created them to harness the collective energy of our weapons, to amplify the power of her wand. If we can charge the wand enough times, it may help us disable Cursa's defenses, allowing us to strike directly at Cursa.
Maybe. But I guess we'll find out here in a second. But definitely go for the heal. Let's make sure Mario is nice and healed, because he took quite a beating on the last area. But defeat Cursa, and her true form at that, too, which is quite interesting looking. But cool, though, I like it. It's like the Manta Ray enemy that we saw at the very beginning of the game, as well as, obviously, the Rabbid mask, or basically kind of like Phantom of the Opera, kind of Rabbid version of a mask, or bunny mask. But, the White Rabbit definitely looks pretty scary in this version. I'm making a little reference to Alice in Wonderland, if you guys are wondering. Or, I guess you could say WWE too, because White Rabbit was a thing there too, but let's see here. Cursa. Cursa attacks one opponent in front of her, cannot be defeated by regular weapons. Her wings can push away exposed opponents. Spiral Ray. 2,180 damage. A long-range beam fired at one target reduces a target's weapon damage after a successful hit. Okay. And then 20% chance to do 2,834 damage. Okay, doesn't sound too bad. Then we also have Rosalina here, but we don't have a way of scanning her. But apparently hitting these wands here will charge her weapon up for her Star Rod. So I guess that's basically self-explanatory. Okay, well let's see what we got. 0%. Okay, so it's 0% charged at the moment. Okay, it doesn't seem too hard. But what kind of enemies do we have on this side of the map? Because it looks like we might not be able to put as many enemies to sleep as we did before. Maybe if I stand like here-ish, I could get at least the Wild Claw, this Fire Stooge, and this Stooge to sleep. Or we can go for all Fire Stooges, which would probably be a better way of dealing with them, to be fair. So that's probably a worthwhile one. So let's make sure Rabbid Rosalina is as good of range as possible, to be fair, because she's definitely going to need to take full advantage here. Because sleep is a big status effect we need to be using. Because, let's be honest, it gives us more chance of hitting Cursa as well as just in general everything. But it says something about Cursa having defenses, so I'm guessing attacking her directly won't do anything if we can. So that's a decent charge into that. That looks pretty good. Although, let's see. First things first is figuring out how to deal with enemies too. Doesn't look like I can go for those Stooges though, like on an easy level. But it does look like what we could do is maybe use Mario to maybe do a little bit of damage if required. We can also shoot in the air too, so we can also... Okay, then apparently spamming A actually drops you on the floor. You learn something new every day. Huh. Okay then, well that did not work in the way that I wanted it to, but, well, it happened. Oops. Well, that's unfortunate. I was kind of wanting to use all of my attack there, but I guess we're not going to have that chance now. Doesn't look like that charges up the star beam at all, so don't want to do that. I think we can take some free limitations here. Let's take a little bit of extra movement, just to make sure we get the movement we want, at least. To, you know, be at least able to do something here. Let's try and get in range of trying to do as much damage to the Star Rod as possible. Because it looks like just doing damage to the Star Rod is what we need to do to get a little bit of that charge in, but 11% so far. I can go for a Pyrogeddon to make sure this guy behind me is gone. So let's do that, because I don't want to waste my main movement there. Although I kind of woke up the Fire Stooge. Although it did do damage to him, surprisingly. I was really surprised about that, to be fair. But, kind of did not want him to wake up, to be fair. Although maybe I could still work with that. Just because it doesn't really superly heavily affect me. It's just that it's kind of not what I want. I don't want the enemy to be up, to be fair. I wanted him to stay asleep. But, let's go some Kaboomer into the Star Rod at least. See how much we can get into that. 37, not bad. It's a pretty good charge so far. And now we just need to figure out how to do the last bit of damage we need. We can do a little bit of damage to that Star Rod right away, or we can maybe try and go for a decent amount of damage on you, but I think that's kind of a waste of damage at the same time. Yeah, I'm going to say Dual Slinger on the Star Rod is a better idea in this case scenario. Because you never know, honestly. But having that in would definitely help us more than going straight for the Fire Stooge. I'm surprised we did damage to him with Pyrogeddon, though. That's interesting. Just because of the fact of everything. But he went for the wrong target, because we actually resist fire because of Pyrogeddon. And it missed completely. Nice try. Well, that ended up working a little bit. Not a lot, but it worked better than it could have been. I'm wondering, so if I'm like super far away from the Star Rod thing, how much damage do we do with Luigi? Oh, wow. Okay, that does a lot. Okay, then. Good to know. very good to know. But, first things first is figuring out how we want to move everybody. I'm going to definitely say punching this guy would be a good idea, just in general. So let's just go for a couple punches on you, because Rabbid Mario is nowhere close to getting up to being able to do much yet. That is yet, though, to be fair. But we definitely need to kind of position ourselves to be able to do a little bit more. But I think like right there would be good. We could go for a weaken. I'm not sure if it's going to affect much, but it does affect that fire stooge, but at the same time that doesn't really entice me too much, to be fair. But what I can do, however, is we can summon in the Oozer for the deep freeze over here and have him kind of mess around with that. Because, well, you ended up moving in my spot I wanted to be in. Well, thanks, I guess. Well, that's not exactly where I wanted him to be fair. Because he kind of just stole my spot. Like, literally. He literally stole my spot where I wanted to be. Thanks, Mr. Oozer. That's really nice of you. That's all I gotta say about that one. I am gonna summon the Wild Claw, though. Since we can get that into position. And that might actually get rid of Deep Freeze before he actually... Yeah, he does. Okay, cool. So down you go. That's perfect. So maybe Luigi can take that position now. And then maybe use that to our benefit. And it looks like I should... No, apparently not. But I can come closer, though. So we should be able to hit the... Really? Not? That's surprising. Okay, why can I not hit that yet? That's weird. So from this position we can, but from this position we can't. Okay. Interesting. Huh. Okay then, Luigi, you can take a team jump maybe. And maybe we can work with that, and that'll give you more than likely the range that you need. I don't know why that's kind of freaking out though, to be fair. But, don't know why it is. But that is still really, really strange. I will be completely honest there. So I can hit it from there, that's good. If I were to move next to the Wild Claw, does that give us enough? Nope. You have to be just out, just slightly. But yeah, that's weird. Some of the ranges we can hit it, but some of them we can't at all. And now we're completely blocking our range of hitting it from that area. Okay, that's odd. That's really odd. I don't know how to work with that, but okay then. Okay, so if that's affecting us like that, we need to try and figure out how we want to do this then. In a way that it works specifically in our favor. In the best way possible, of course. But at the same time, I don't see any real positioning here that lets us actually hit what we want to hit here, because of that Oozer decided to move right in the worst possible spot to being able to hit it. But it looks like we still can get it from this range. Okay, good. I was wondering if we had at least one, which is better than nothing at all. Honestly, I'll take that. But 92, there we go. That's all I wanted, was to be able to be sure that we were going to hit that. And thankfully we can. Okay, cool. So, honestly, we could send in Rabbid Luigi a little bit. Maybe I can do a little bit of like a weaken like party over here and see what we can do. Because I feel like we could probably do something along the lines of obviously weakening all these enemies for later. Then figuring out from there what we want to do with that. But them being weakened is going to help us out better than being directly out in the open the whole time. But I guess I could set up Reflect maybe, and then try and redirect some damage and see what we can do with that, honestly. That's not too bad. But let's pass our turn and let's see what Cursa does with that, honestly, because I'm very curious on what she's going to try. Also, me being frostbitten there is not too bad because you just moved me. Thanks. That's not bad at all. But I need you to go for Rabbid Mario instead. Instead, you went for Luigi. Could be worse. Definitely could be worse. Although that side is definitely not the team that I would normally want to have in that area. Although she actually went for that Gust ability. Where'd you throw everybody? I'm kind of curious about that one. Can I go see that real quick? What the heck did you do over there? That is interesting. Okay. Weird, okay. She pushed all those enemies towards me. But that might actually help us more than hurt us, to be fair. Okay, so this Star Rod's actually quite far from our position, so we need to be careful here. But, for the most part, this doesn't look too bad. Because, obviously, first things first is obviously sending an edge to try and get a little bit of a operation going on over here. But definitely Bowser has a free reign of pretty much this entire area, which is perfect for Edge and everybody else. But let's move everybody in range of a turbocharge first, before we worry about anything else though, because that extra 60% is definitely going to come in handy here in a second. But, it looks like best movement is from where Edge was, is basically what I'm seeing here. So from here, we could maybe... It doesn't look like very, very far, but we can definitely make an effort to get quite far. As long as we, drop in a way like where we can hit the Oozer, obviously, with our dashes, and then obviously set up Vamp Dash for later as well. And hopefully get a good chunk of these enemies figured out here. Because as long as we can set these enemies up for later, where they're basically down, it's going to do us better. Ooh, Magician. Yeah, you need to go down for sure then. Not enough to get rid of you, but enough to kind of figure you out for later, which is definitely pretty good, I think. Rapid Peach, you're going to need to go back just a slight bit. Bowser can go out that far to that block, so we need to be in range of being able to help Bowser out, and then from there work from what we can get. But as long as we drop like there, we have full range of helping Bowser out get closer, which is exactly what we need. So Bowser, I think you're ready to get a little bit closer, but where do we want to drop you? It looks like... Ooh, I have an idea. I see an area that I kind of like. I might drop on top of this enemy, though, this Magician, to make sure he's out, which is not bad at all. And now we're, like, right in range of getting to Cursa, too. But, we have an idea of maybe going for Sea Stooge. We can go for the full charge now, if we want to. So that's also an option. Or we can go for trying to get rid of these Sea Stooges. Although, what do we really want to do here? We can go for the Flying Blade. It's an option. Let's go Ethereal first. Let's figure out if Edge is going to have a Spark Refresh. Yep, we got a Spark Refresh. Okay, we know exactly what we're doing then. Definitely go for the Star Rod then, for sure, with Edge. And then figure out with Bowser what he wants to do next. So... down goes the Star Rod, 10,000 damage, although not enough to do any damage to Cursa though. But it looks like we did maybe start part of the knocking out of Cursa, maybe? I think. Maybe we have to do that. It could be 3 times, like a 3-phase fight. So maybe we at least started the, process of dropping Cursa. So I'm guessing we need to do that 2 more times. Which would make a lot of sense to me, personally. Ooh, hello. That's good. That moved the enemies right in a range that now they're no longer protected. Okay, so from here, it looks like maybe dropping these on you is a better idea. Because the other guy's more than likely going to focus the Squashettes in the long run. So hopefully getting rid of this Sea Stooge is not in our cards, sadly. Okay. Well, it's not too bad. We can still work with that, because the thing is the Sea Stooge is definitely down as soon as we go for a blast on him. We do a little bit of damage to him, but I want to make sure that the other one is out of the way, because we don't want to get splash affected later. So I feel safer with that turn, I think. So let's see what they end up doing here. So a dash on the Squashette, and a blast into the Squashette as well. And it's still up, actually. So we got a purple portal spawning, but they're going for Bowser instead. But, oh no, here comes the wave of... Okay, as long as we're behind things, we don't get blown away. Okay, so interesting. So just like with Pristine Peaks, with everything to do with that. So good to know about that, actually. Though, how do we want to do our turn here? Because we still have a free turn to figure out everything we want to do here. Although, how do we want to do it, and how do we want to get rid of Mr. Bernie here? Because Mr. Bernie is definitely going to do a little bit of something if he wants to, so we need to be careful. I say we can definitely double dash him. And I might be able to... I can go for the charge, and it's the same amount. Okay, yeah, let's definitely go for that then. So, Peach, do what you do best. Try and do as much damage as you can. Also a free team barrier too, which is also good. Rosalina, can you help out Mario if at all possible? You can. Okay, cool. That's very good. That's exactly what I want to see, for sure. Is that a deep freeze? It is a wild claw. We don't do that much damage with a drop, so don't go for that one in that way. We can, however, go pretty far if we need to. But I'm going to say definitely setting up Mario over in this section as close as we can get to being able to do as much damage as possible to the wand is going to be a start to this turn. And honestly, from there, that's not bad. 31 part of our damage in a right away is pretty good in my honest opinion. Let's set up a vamp attack. Thankfully, we're behind all the cover, so we don't have to worry about being pushed away. But now we just need to figure out what we want to do here. We do a decent amount of damage here. We could put you back to sleep. We could do a little bit of damage to you. But I think putting you to sleep with the effect of our ability might be smarter. And obviously go for some nice purple Fruit Loops for a little bit of damage onto good old Star Rod there. Not bad. Definitely not bad. Could have actually went for the freeze effect on that, actually, to be fair. But not bad at all, honestly. We can set up Hero Sight for Mr. Stooge if he decides to run into Mario's range of motion. But I have a feeling he's more than likely not going to do that. But it's definitely... Oh, he actually did it. Okay, cool. I'll take it. I'll definitely take it. So down goes the Stooge and we don't take any damage this turn. Thankfully not even from Cursa either. But not bad at all. Okay, well, our Wild Claw is trying to do damage to that Fire Stooge. And then our Oozer is going for the other Fire Stooge. Okay, cool. Other than that, I am noticing that Cursa's on fire now, so that does kind of confirm my suspicions about earlier. And it says we can't attack anything. It's weird. Or at least that's what I'm getting the idea of. I'm still not really sure what's going on with that, to be fair. But we'll definitely go for our double dash here and see what we can do with that. 2 dashes in for free. Obviously, we're going to go for the third one to make sure that Fire Stooge is down. Then Luigi, you don't have really range of getting to those. We do have an idea of maybe... I got an idea, actually. Although I'm not really sure if it's going to work in my favor the way that I'm wanting it to. But we do have the idea here, I see it. Because we could go here and then throw him. Although we need Luigi out of range of being in that Deep Freeze's location before we do it. So let's set up the Steely Stare, obviously, for it to at least start the effect of what I'm trying to do. Because what I'm thinking of doing here is Kong cameoing to push the Deep Freeze out of position. Then hopefully Rabbid Kong can help us in a way of being able to do a decent amount of damage to him before anything can happen with that. Down goes the other Fire Stooge, though, which is perfect. Very, very perfect. And honestly, from here, I don't think he can attack, actually. Or is that his ability? I'm not really sure. But, I do say we do need to help Rabbid Mario get a lot closer if we want to do any kind of damage. And that's for sure, just based on the fact that Rabbid Mario is severely short range. They gave us 2 kind of short range allies here to work with, which does not help us very much, but it's better than nothing. It definitely is better than nothing, but they are very, very short range compared to what we can normally use. That's a charge, which is worth it. I might go for that, actually. You know what? Rabbid Mario, you can move after attacking, so it's probably in our best efforts of making sure to do that before Luigi attacks. So go for that. Make sure we're nice and charged. 2,622 into that. Another blast in. And, oh, okay, I see what we're doing. We're burning the arms off of it. Okay. So, by that logic, do we need to burn every single arm, or do we just need to burn certain ones? But there goes 2 of them, though. Not bad at all. Okay, now we just need to figure out how to deal with the rest of this. Because right now, it's definitely along the lines of figuring out how to safely position Luigi. I think we can take a effort of being in range of like the open, because the thing is I think we'll be able to kind of safely do this in the way that I'm thinking. Although I might need to help out Luigi just a slight bit. So let's give us a little bit extra movement here, just so Luigi can get to a better spot. Because the current spot he's in is not really going to help him out, to be fair. Because where he wants to be is more than likely around where this block is over here. Because that's basically where we were before with Luigi, where we could hit the little star rod and make sure we did the damage that we needed. That's a decent amount, although is that the most that we can get? I want to make sure we're doing the most amount of damage here. It looks like that is the most. Okay, cool. I just want to make sure for sure, because you never know. But that should be a decent amount of damage in, and we got a crit. 3,000 damage is not bad to that. 38% already charged up. And honestly, just getting out of range of you is a good idea. We can't really help out Rabbid Mario much, but we can get into a position that might be favorable, maybe? Does not look like it, but it's definitely something, for sure. Although, how can I really help Rabbid Mario out here? I guess just positioning myself here might be good. Because the thing is Rabbid Mario can take a hit. So if he does get hit, it's not the end of the world. But I think we can pass our turn now from here. Then go into everything we need to do on the other side. But there goes a bunch of enemies, though. And now stuff are going to start spawning the turn after. So we have a free turn to figure out what we want to do on that side of the map. Also, one enemy already off the field. We'll take it. Not bad at all. But that's all the enemies on this side. So, honestly, we can go for some free hits now. Although we do have a portal here we need to be careful of. So we need to figure out how we want to deal with this area here. Technically, a little unfortunate we can't go for too much here because of the fact that we don't have turbo charge. So we can't use that. Bowser has that effect, but he can attack. So I'm kind of confused about that effect. For real, I have no idea what that effect is. Like at all, it doesn't make any sense to me. But I do have a Flying Blade chance, so let's definitely take that into account. And try and do as much damage as we can there. 2,000 damage though, that's really nice for that chain ability. I really like that chain ability, it definitely helps out. You do a little bit of damage with Bowser. Although I'm not really sure if that's enough for dealing with what we need to do here. Because the thing is we don't know what's coming out of that portal. We need to be very, very careful. But we can definitely prepare the Star Rod a little bit more with Rabbid Peach here. So let's get it up to 79%. Not bad at all. And now we just need to figure out what do we do here. Because we have options. We definitely have options. But the thing is at the same time, I kind of feel like it's not a lot at the current moment. We can set up Stormblade, maybe, in case any enemies decide to run out of that portal directly at us. Which might be a thing. We don't know for sure. But it's, it's definitely a possibility. So I think the only thing we can do here is just blast with Bowser and see what we can do from there. Technically, Bowser can actually attack the enemies over there, which is kind of funny. I saw the range actually hitting over by that purple block over there, which is interesting. But 83%. We can pass our turn now, I think. So what is spawning out of those? Oozers, okay. Well, more than one enemy, specifically. But Oozers are not really exactly what I wanted to see, to be fair. And a Magician. Okay, well we can work with that. He is going for a little bit of... Bowser's taking a little bit of a couple hits, though, but as I was saying, Bowser was taking a little bit of a beating there, but we did do... That's not too bad. It definitely looks worse, to be fair, but it's definitely... It could be worse, definitely could be. But honestly, so far so good. We do have the ability of bouncing off of Rabbid Rosalina and attacking and still being able to attack after bouncing. So let's take that into account and make sure we take full advantage of our bounces here and see what we can do with that. Because it should help out, I think. But we can go for a full charge. so let's definitely charge it up. So another hit into the Star Rod, hopefully enough to maybe burn Cursa completely. Okay, and just like that, Cursa down, and battle cleared. Not bad. Also, apparently 3 times was the charm, and also a Cursa lore book. Although, we're still missing one of them. So I'm a little curious about that one. But, I'll take it. I'll definitely take it. But, down goes Cursa though. Honestly, pretty cool fight. I will definitely say that. The Star Rod thing was definitely interesting. Also, Bowser wants nothing to do with us. Makes sense. Everything's all over now, and he should have his minions back to normal. But I was kind of hoping he'd stay a little bit longer, though. But it's Bowser. But maybe, you never know. I guess we'll find out.
Mario, you and your friends saved the galaxy, and in doing so, saved me as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all.
No problem.
But we didn't save the Sparks, Rosalina. We tried. We tried so hard.
Here's BeepO. Energy such as that, which gives life to the sparks, cannot be destroyed, only altered.
So they're still good then. That's good to hear. I was a little worried about that, because they were looking pretty, kind of X-ray for a bit there. But, yep, they definitely look better.
The sparks thank you for putting yourselves in harm's way, to save me as I do I. I went looking for my family once, the same way you search for those with whom you belong.
Hey.
You are welcome to remain with me, in the sparks for as long as you would like, even forever. I do want that. Like I did, but it turns out I have family of my own already.
Well, that's good to hear.
They're weird, they annoy me sometimes, but I love them.
I'm guessing Captain Orion. Or she could be talking about us as well.
And as for you, Steward of Sparks, I figure with Cursa gone, my old pals will find themselves a new profession. Guess I'll stick around with these tenderfoots for now, since I can't keep air in their lungs.
Alright.
See if I can keep air in their lungs. Okay, well, we'll see what we can do with that Edge. But that sounds cool to me. If Edge sticks around for, like, the next game, because I feel like there's going to be a third Mario and Rabbids game. These games are very good. I really like the team that has made these games. This has been a really fun venture, and I'm very looking forward to going into the DLC for this game, just like I was with DK's Adventure. But I'm wondering what the third game would be about, because they have options, they definitely do. But, you never know, honestly. I would like to see, maybe something along the lines of, a little bit of, like, a reference to the Mario and Luigi games. Because there is some enemies they can pull from that line. The only thing is I don't know if they have the rights to it, because technically the team that did work on Mario and Luigi is gone now, Alpha Dream. Although they could come back at some point. They are a team that is gone now, which is a little unfortunate because they made some pretty fun games. The Mario and Luigi franchise for the RPG games are pretty good. And let's be honest, Paper Mario is good as well. But also, I would like to see regular Paper Mario come back at some point. But the Origami King was definitely a good start in the right direction. I will say that, to, coming back to the original. But honestly, for the most part, I would like to see maybe like a Mario and Luigi, like kind of referential, like main villain, or maybe they don't have to. Honestly, it really depends on whatever they want to do. But there's a lot of enemies they could pull from there, just because you have the Bean Kingdom, you have everything to do with just all the kingdoms in general, the Pillow Folk from Dream Team. There's a bunch of stuff, honestly. So, although Pillow Folk aren't villains, but there's villains in that area, obviously, is what I'm trying to say. But let's continue here, because I'm quite curious how this is going to wrap up.
Farewell, Mario. Your kindness, courage, and loyalty are the foundation of many a friendship, including ours.
Bowser.
And Bowser, are you happy to learn any problem can be solved when we work together?
Okay, and with the credits now officially rolled for the game, it looks like there's a little bit after the credits, apparently. Obviously, we're going to jump back into the game after everything, obviously, because we got those memories we still need to read. As well as, apparently, a missing one. I'm not really sure about that one. But, let's see what's going on here.
So, Genie, how do you feel about your first adventure as an honorary hero?
My feelings as such are not relevant. The mission was successful. That is all that matters.
Well, seems like you're basically back to your old self, it seems like.
Genie, I thought you had adopted and learned to engage with emotional experiences.
Relax, BeepO. That was merely a jest. Something said to cause general amusement and laughter.
It kind of worried me for a second, to be honest. But, sure.
Is that so? Well, perhaps my mentoring hasn't been in vain after all. I'm proud of you, Genie.
Well, definitely looks like he's proud of his creation. Technically, you can see Genie as like a daughter to BeepO. Because BeepO, created Genie, so technically it would, be basically like a father-daughter kind of situation there, but there we go. Cursa Stronghold and 100% completion. We are officially, completion-wise, we are done. But let's get into the file, because I am quite curious. So, continue journey. Also, I love that little continue journey area. I never get to show it to you guys, but it's basically like BeepO flying the ship, and you can select different panels to see what you want to do before jumping right into the game. But I guess Cursa Stronghold's actually gone from the map, so we can't actually go back there. That's good that I have multiple save files, because I always copy my files just in case, so I don't, if I lose footage, I can maybe come back and do that. Because sometimes I've had problems with, it doesn't happen often. It's very, very, very rare. But it hasn't happened in a very long time. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. But we do have that memory for Cursa. And I don't see the other one. But for it's definitely good to have extra files. I really like when a game has extra files. Didn't have that with Color Splash, but I was able to do it with a USB stick. So it was pretty good. And also, apparently there's a gift for opening for Cursa Stronghold as well. And it is one last weapon skin missing until we have full completion for 100% completion of the game. So I'm pretty sure, yep, Gleaming Dual Slinger. I was thinking it was going to be the case, because Mario didn't have his weapon yet. So there we go. We have all the Gleaming weapons now. And let's see what's going on with those memories, because I'm pretty sure we should have all of them. There is another one. Okay, so it didn't tell me about the other one, but apparently it was what we saw at the end there. But let's see here. Cursa. There's no question that Cursa is more powerful, cunning, and relentless than any single one of us. Yet together, with aid from Rosalina, it was vanquished. Still, its corrupting influence reached nearly every corner of the galaxy, where much of it lingers still. We have stopped the dark mess at its source, but we have much work to do if we want to remove the rest before it can cause any more harm. Technically, we've already done that, so technically, we've done quite a lot, unless there is other planets we haven't, been to that has been affected by it, which is possible. And that could be what we do in the next game, you never know. But a message from an outer dimension. I received a most curious communication. It reads as follows. You don't know me. However, you could say that we're related. I know who this is. Okay. This is the lady from the very beginning of Kingdom Battle, which we also got a picture of in Donkey Kong's Adventure. Interesting. Okay, well, I accidentally sent myself back on accident because I accidentally hit the back button. But, let's read that. You don't know me, however, you could say that we're related. I invented BeepO, and I'm proud to see that how he's evolving from a virtual assistant to a thinking, feeling, if not a little grouchy, bona fide hero. Come to think of it, you and BeepO have a lot in common. You just got there, with a lot less help. Who sent this, and why? Well, maybe you'll find out later. But, we definitely know who that is. That's BeepO's creator from the very first game. which is pretty cool. And, well, technically the accidental cause of everything that happened, because if she didn't make the Super Merge headset, none of this would have happened. But, honestly, it still turned out for the better for everybody, honestly. And even the Rabbids have a new home, which, honestly, they kind of needed one, with everything that happened in just everything to do with the Rabbids in general. Although I was thinking that that communication thing was going to be maybe something to set up everything to do with Raymond. But nope, that's 100% for BeepO's creator there. Because as soon as I saw what made me think that was based on the fact that it said that we got a random, like, curious communication from another dimension, that made me think, like, oh, wait a minute, maybe that could be setting up for later, but nope, that's just setting up just to remind us of the character that we haven't seen in a long time. But interesting, though. Very, very interesting, and also cool that we finally got a little bit of dialogue from them to, you know, end off the story, because, let's be honest here, we haven't heard from them in a long time. We've only seen them for, like, a small bit for, obviously, for DK's adventure. We got, like, some pictures of them. Let's see what's going on with this dual slinger, though, since we always read these. The Sparks at the observatory were so grateful for your bravery. They dug this out of a storage closet there for you. And, honestly, we'll throw it on, even though we don't really have much of a use for it, but we'll definitely take it for sure. But, with that being said, we are now officially done with Kingdom Battle, or why did I say Kingdom Battle? Technically we did play through all three of the games back to back, to be fair, so what a Kingdom Battle. We're done with Sparks of Hope. But, with that being said, yeah, we're done with Sparks of Hope. I don't know when the DLC is going to come out for this, so what I'm going to say is I'll wait for all the DLC to drop for the game. And then when the DLC does drop, we'll do all of it back to back. And obviously, go through everything, doing a cut to be able to show you guys this a little bit easier for you guys. Just so you can see what I am talking about, because I want you guys to be able to see what I'm talking about in an easier way. But, as you can see, the first DLC will be the Tower of Doom, obviously with Spawny and Madame Wastrella. There's the character for DLC 2, being that broken statue that I was telling you guys about. Obviously, that's the same character. There's no way around that. But we did get a hint on what kind of weapon they might use based on that chained spike ball thing with the Sonic symbol on it. But, yeah, that definitely... Now you guys can see why I said that character looks like Edge. So, I'm wondering what kind of connection they're going to have between each other, because it said 3 Spark Hunters, that specifically earlier, but technically it was 4 with Edge, but we never were told about this other character, and they're definitely connected to Edge in some way, just based on the fact that they look very, very similar in character. But, honestly, new planet, new foe, definitely gonna be very, very interesting to get into. And obviously DLC 3, being with Raymond, and it's going to be an adventure with Rabbid Mario and Rabbid Peach. Sounds pretty cool, honestly. So, with that being said, I'm definitely looking forward to everything, but like I said before, we're going to have to wait quite a while until we get into that, because it says late 2023, and it could even be even later, because who knows what happens with the cold going around. It could delay things even further, you never know. So, with that being said, thank you all so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. In the, well, next episode of whatever we do, honestly, I'm really wanting to do Mario and Luigi. So, we might be officially getting into that franchise. Because we did a small sneak peek into it with Superstar Saga. And, well, I think I finally have enough things set up where we can maybe get into doing the whole series. So, obviously, we're going to do them in order. So, obviously, Partners in Time will more than likely be our next video. So with that being said, thank you all for watching Sparks of Hope. I really, really had a lot of fun with this, and I had a lot of fun with Kingdom Battle and DK's adventure as well. It's going to be sad to say goodbye to Mario and Rabbids, but we'll be back. We'll definitely be back. And if there's a third game, we'll definitely be back for that as well. So, with that being said, thank you all for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Keep being spooky. And I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out. Hey boys and girls, thank you all for watching today's episode. If you liked what you saw today, please leave a like and maybe even subscribe. And hit the bell notification down below. If you guys have any kind of suggestions for games, please put that in the comments down below as well. Thank you all for watching today's episode, and keep being spooky. Peace out, guys.